Am I the butthole for moving out after my sister wanted to triple my rent due to dad cutting me off? My sister is 2 years younger than me. I took a gap year, meaning that when I was in my first year of university, she was applying for her own unis and courses. My sister liked a university about 20 minutes away from mine. She missed out on halls and rent in the area is expensive, so dad said if I found a flat that could suit both of us, he would pay for half of the overall rent and my sister and I could pay a quarter each. Rent in the area on a 2-bedroom starts at around £1,000 per month, so this was a bargain. I found a flat, and my sister and I have been living together since September 2019. I'm now finishing up my 3rd year of university. I've been dating my boyfriend for a year. My boyfriend is a transgender man. I didn't tell dad because he has expressed transphobic views previously and it's not his business. My boyfriend is on testosterone, and it's administered via injection. My sister found his kit and questioned us on why there was a case containing vials and needles in the flat. We told her the truth, saying she can't tell dad. Dad rang me a week later calling my boyfriend a tranny, and saying he won't pay to put a roof over a dyke's head, so my sister and I are on our own and paying for the flat. My sister swears she didn't tell him. Frankly, I'm not sure I believe her. I told my sister that I could pay £500 a month, so if she can come up with the other £500, we could continue living here. She says she can't do £500 as she's only budgeted for £250 per month, and that because I'm the one who got us into this, I should be paying £750. I said I can't do £750 and that it's fair that we pay half each. She said that she shouldn't have to pay more because of my issue, and maintained that I should pay £750. Things got worse and worse at the flat, with the rent deadline getting closer, and my sister insisting that I should pay £750 and not backing down. As things got worse there, I started spending more time at my boyfriend's place. A few days ago he asked me to move in with him and I agreed. I've already paid £500 of rent for February, and my boyfriend and I found a studio flat within our budget that will let us move in March. My sister and I are renting on a monthly contract, so I have the option to just not renew it. I've told my sister what my plan is and she's furious. Says I've effed her over because she's now got less than 3 weeks to sort herself out. She can't afford the full £1,000 per month alone, and dad isn't willing to help her because he's convinced she knew my boyfriend was trans and hid it from him. Even just flat shares in the area start at about £600, well over double what she's budgeted. All she can afford right now is petrol for the drive home, well over 3 hours away. She says I'm being unfair, selfish, and cruel, and that I'm intentionally effing her over. AITA? Info: Dad lives over 3 hours away, with my mom and other sister. My boyfriend is not openly transgender, and dad has met him and had no idea he was trans before this. Dad has also not entered the flat in months, so he couldn't have snooped around and found the tea on his own. There is a possibility that my sister told our mother or other sister, who then told dad, so my sister didn't tell him herself but was still the source of information. There's no logical scenario that I can come up with where my sister wasn't involved somehow. Maybe she should have kept her mouth shut then. NTA. She caused the mess, knowing what your dad is like, she still ran and told him. Really impressed with how confident that sis was that she would get her way here, when she was the one who screwed original poster over and original poster had a different place to stay. How did she not see this coming? I guess short-sightedness doesn't always have to do with your eyesight. Sure glad the hole is in that side of the boat and not mine. I've never heard that one before. I love it. People will quickly forget that they are potentially hurting themselves when they make that move out of spite. Hindsight is one of very few things to have 20/20 or perfect vision. While it's likely we don't know for sure the info came from the sister, there are enough variables that throw some doubt into her being the one telling the father. My guess though is that original poster is correct, that sister told mom who then told dad. Even then, still not okay. The more people you tell, the more likely it gets back to those you don't want to know. She's a young adult, she should know this by now. She also has had plenty of options to fix her mistake by getting a job to help with the rent increase. Instead, she doubled down and refuses any sort of responsibility. NTA+, why was she going through someone else's things to find the vials in the first place? So many lessons should have been learned here, but I have a feeling Op's sister didn't learn a single one. Op, your sister shouldn't have snooped, and when she did you were honest. She shouldn't have gossiped. No matter how the rest of the family found out, original poster was responsible and willing to cover his half. Sis, still being ridiculous, refused to be equal, so due to this, original poster found a better option. Still, Op's sister is blaming them. Why was she going through someone else's things to find the vials in the first place? This is the one thing I can sort of get. You find needles and vials somewhere, you may ask the drug question, especially if there isn't a known reason like diabetes. Still crap to spill someone else's secret, but asking when you find used needles makes sense for siblings. She can't have directly told their dad, or he wouldn't be convinced she'd hidden it from him. They're obviously in the UK, and, even though she says they're 3 hours away, it's not impossible he's found out from someone else. You'd be surprised the people you bump into in the most unlikely places here. That said, the timing says she's the source. I wonder if she's posted something on social media about it, not realizing she's connected to someone who knows the family. Stranger things have happened. I just don't want the original poster to completely burn the bridge with her sister when she doesn't have proof that her sister said anything. Yeah, just asked original poster if there might have been some other way he found out. I worked in local government and my mother worked for the NHS, and the security around data is appalling, so might have been a leak there, but original poster says no, and that her sister has been not too pleasant about the boyfriend being trans, so it's likely the good ship benefit of the doubt has sailed. I feel so sorry for her because she's lost the relationship with both her parents and one sister so far over this. Can be tough to deal with, even when the family are crafty people. She'd be completely ignoring statistics and logic if she didn't suspect the sister. This is more likely a question of how rather than who. I would say the burning bridges is more about how unreasonable the sister has been regarding the rent money, when the room share was set up to help her specifically. Also the fact she takes her sibling moving as a personal insult. Rent is twice as high, it makes sense for her sibling to want to move. Frankly, so should she. I'd also guess she didn't go directly to the father, but gossiping about private information like this is still a betrayal, and telling any family member risked them telling the father, so predictably led to the problem. The sister is still responsible for the situation where original poster was cut off and unable to afford the rent, but somehow acting like the victim. If she hadn't said anything, then this wouldn't have happened. She didn't have a right to out her sister's boyfriend to anyone. That's a disgusting invasion of privacy. I'd understand original poster wanting to move out even if this hadn't caused financial issues, to be honest. Who wants to live with someone they can't trust? My guess though is that original poster is correct, that sister told mom who then told dad. That sounds likely. Especially with the constant instance that this problem is her sister's fault. Like, excuse you, the reason you in this mess is because you decided to be a snoopy gossip. They were even willing to forgive the snoop part. As far as I'm concerned, the sister shot herself in the foot and is an idiot. Shot herself in the foot twice, even. First tattling to daddy, then by rejecting her sister's 50-50 option. What an idiot. It's not necessarily snooping, depends where he left the kid and how easy it is to mistake for something else. I don't know what these kits actually look like. Can you see there's a needle in there, or could it be mistaken for a manicure set or similar? If I found a needle in my flat, I'd want to know why. Should have kept her trap shut once she was told though. She must know her own family and whether anyone she told would blab. I don't know what kind of people you've been hanging out with, but no one that has to use needles for legitimate medical reasons would ever even think to leave a needle sitting out anywhere. The case is most likely a square or rectangular zipper pouch. You could possibly mistake it for a manicure set, I suppose, but it's unlikely. This is this girl's apartment. She knows where her and probably her sister's manicure set is if they have them. This is snooping pure and simple. It's very disrespectful and there is no excuse for it. They never should have had to tell her anything, and I'm sorry original poster trusted her sister enough to not be a garbage person. That was obviously a mistake and they should have just said it was insulin or something. I don't know what it normally looks like when a drug user has needles, but for my hormone injections the boxes with my supplies look like something that belongs in a doctor's office. All the needle/syringe parts are individually wrapped in sterile packages, and the hormone vial itself is in a little box with a pharmacy prescription label on it. I didn't think about the labels. Don't know why, I've got prescription drugs all over the house. She must have known it was none of her business. Should have just told her it was insulin. Captain Hindsight. I would have said heparin because it's for blood clotting, which would shut off concerns or conversations about diet. And, if necessary, so I don't develop a clot and die, should shut down further questions. That answer would probably be better, since if the boyfriend wasn't doing other typical diabetic stuff such as checking his sugars, the sister might question it, but blood clots are getting more common with younger people cause of COVID complications. Should have just told her it was insulin. Captain Hindsight. Hell, don't give her any specific info at all. Like you said, hindsight and all that, but probably would have been better if they just said, he has a medical condition and he doesn't want to discuss the details. I feel so bad for Op. I think she thought that nothing would happen to her, but karma is so sweet. Agreed, your sister is the butthole here. But let's not ignore the fact that this all stems from your dad being the much bigger butthole. Did he have to pay your rent? No, he didn't, and it's okay to be grateful to him for the time that he did that. But cutting that off for such a bigoted, hurtful, narrow-minded reason is absolutely terrible, and original poster is better off not having that connection with him if they can help it. Yes, your sister probably told your dad, even if indirectly, but this wouldn't have even been a problem if your dad wasn't transphobic in the first place. In any situation here though, original poster is most definitely not the butthole. Even if Op's dad wasn't a transphobic bigot, Op's sister saw it fit to share secrets that don't concern her or anyone outside of the couple. She still needs to not stick her nose where it doesn't belong. Meaning, even if the dad wasn't transphobic, her behavior is a problem and would create issues. Yep. Even if dad was the most accepting person in the world, it isn't the sister's place to out Op's boyfriend. Yes, your sister probably told your dad, even if indirectly, but this wouldn't have even been a problem if your dad wasn't transphobic in the first place. Sister is exactly as bad as dad because outing someone / disclosing their medical info is vile. Whether she told dad directly or not. I think she did it because she thought original poster would get the boot and she'd have the flat to herself. She told them knowing how transphobic he is. She's just as big a butthole, and now she's reaping what she sowed. Agree that original poster is better off in the long run cutting ties with her dad and paying her own way. You don't want to be beholden to a toxic person like this. Also, maybe it'll make her think twice about outing someone. Trans folk face a ton more violence and hate, and she basically threw him to the wolves. Totally agree. She could have gotten him killed, and I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. Absolutely unacceptable. Dad isn't willing to help her because he's convinced she knew my boyfriend was trans and hid it from him. Are we sure sister did? Op says only that she's not sure. She believes sister when she claims she didn't tell dad, and this snippet doesn't really make sense if she did tell. Why would dad be convinced sister knew and hid it from him, if she was the one that snitched? No other judgment, but this assumption doesn't seem to fit the facts. Considering they've been living in this arrangement for years now and original poster had been dating her boyfriends for a year. He may be under the impression that the sister knew from the beginning of their relationship, and hid it until now. She could have told the mother or other sister who then told the dad. Either way, the sister is in butthole for sharing someone else's medical information. Not the butthole. There is exactly 100% chance your sister told your dad about your BF. She was the only other family member who knew about it. She made her own bed, let her lie in it. Well, for one, that's not how statistics works. But also it seems weird that if her sister did tell her dad, he's now mad at her too. Edit. To be clear, original poster is not the butthole, and her sister is most likely how it got out. I was being a bit facetious about the way this person phrased it. At the end of the day, even if it wasn't your sister who told your dad, it really doesn't matter. You can't afford to stay there, and your dad has made it so she can't either. None of that is your fault. Transphobes aren't exactly the most rational of people. It's possible sis told their other sis or their mum, who then revealed the truth, and that's why dad is mad at her, because she hadn't told him herself. Nonetheless, sis is still the cause of the leak, and therefore it's on her just as much as if she had told dad. Telling anyone pretty much means she got what she deserved. Go find a 3-bedroom and split till you can sort it out. Life can be a bitch. Massive, not the butthole, obviously. Oh, totally. I was just trying to explain why dad was mad at sis as well. Yeah, That would make a lot of sense. I think original poster is probably right that sister told either mom or other sister, who then went to dad and told him. He would have asked who told them and they would have told him that sister told them, so original poster gets in trouble for having a trans boyfriend and sister gets in trouble for not telling him directly, but it is still kind of sister's fault. It might still be work original poster talking to sister about it though to find out who did tell dad so they can be cut out too. Anyone that stays loyal to daddy is already dead for moral purposes anyway. If it turned out it was the sis telling anyone, she's gone and outed a transman that original poster says isn't out openly. Transphobic dad aside, that's not right. Good point. Not the butthole. It makes no difference that your dad cut you off or why that happened, and it makes no difference whether she told him or not. Fact is, you've always paid half of the rent each because a third party covered the rest. Now that third party isn't paying, I cannot fathom a reason why the 50-50 arrangement should change. She had a chance to get on board and pay her share. This is exactly right. Your father's transphobia, your sister's selfishness, none of it is really important to this issue. And if you sister assumed you just pony up the dough because reasons, perhaps this reality check will educate her future choices. Not the butthole. Exactly. She could have paid $500, which is totally fair, but she refused. Her not being able to find/afford a new place or pay the full $1,000 could have been avoided. All because of her own selfishness. She could have 1. Not shared sister's BF's info to anyone. Or 2. Agreed to pay half. The biggest butthole is bigoted dad. But sister is 2 for sharing ops boyfriend's business with others and then refusing to compromise and then getting mad it all blew up in her face. Exactly. Yeah, she probably told him, or at least someone who told him, which was dumb, but even if she didn't, either way, she owes half the rent, just like you do. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.